Hey folks, today I'm going to cover 4 exercises that are going to help us out with our ankle mobility, range of motion, and just general foot and ankle health. The feet are often overlooked piece of the body. We're typically benching and doing pull-ups and those sorts of things, squats, deadlifts, which are all great. But we're in contact. What do we make contact with the floor and with the ground, with the earth? It's our feet. That's our initial sensory input for our balance, our proprioception, all those things. So the feet are very underrated, and their health is very underrated. There's over 30 joints in the foot. There's 26 some odd bones in the foot. So that's 52 bones collectively. That's 25% of our entire body's bones. So they must be important. Whoever put us together obviously wanted put us together with these guys being very, very important. So because of that, we should take care of them and work on them in the gym. So I'm going to go over 4 exercises that you can kind of put together if you're having any sort of ankle mobility issues, any sort of plantar fasciitis, those sorts of things. Rest is usually a good one for that one. But some things you can do to be proactive and keep those injuries from coming back and issues from coming back is this little 4 movement circuit, which should only take a few minutes. You could do it every day, before a workout, after a workout, when you're home. You don't need much. First one is some sort of self-myofascial release to kind of get some blood flow to the area. So I've got a lacrosse ball here. You could use a tennis ball, a golf ball if you're feeling courageous. Tennis ball is good. It has a little more cushion to it. But as far as for this one, just putting that foot on the ball, I get some issues with my right foot. I have pretty higher arch on my right foot, high arches. So just getting on that ball and applying some pressure down and making sure I get the whole foot. So get into the feet, okay? So applying pressure back and forth between the toes, I should say, okay? And then getting up into the foot, into the arch, rolling back and forth, applying pressure right through that arch. That's where I get my tender spot right there. So working through that, more into the ball of the foot, up onto the heel as well. Some people with those any sort of heel issues. So about 1 minute on each foot usually feels pretty good. And if nothing else, it feels good. It's like a massage, if you will. So just kind of getting in there, warming that tissue up. So that's number 1. That's self-myofascial release work, self-massage, we'll call it. And again, about 1 minute on each side. I'm going to cut it a little bit short for the video, but again, lacrosse ball works well. Any sort of hard ball, tennis ball works as well. The second one is going to be an ankle exercise. I'm going to come down to the ground here. So this is an FRC inspired movement called CARS, or controlled articular rotation. So we're going to work on our range of motion here. So I'm just going to do the right ankle. This is one I broke when I was younger, so this one is very much more limited. There's a lot of scar tissue in here. Probably didn't rehab it properly. So I'm just going to lift the leg off the ground. You don't have to get in this setup. You could sit in a chair or on a box and let it hang as well. I like to kind of sit it up. I'm just going to hold this knee in place so I can really just focus. I'm not going to move through the knee at all. I'm just going to draw circles with my foot, okay? And the key here on these, what I'm just going to do, I'll just do one clockwise, one counterclockwise, is not just to kind of go through the motions, just this. I'm challenging my end ranges of motion. So instead of just a quick little small circle, I always say big and slow when we're doing these. So I'm trying to make a big circle. So I'm really tucking the toes up towards my nose and trying to draw the biggest circle I can with that foot. And I'm trying not to move. I can even hold that knee in place. I'm really trying to I'll do one more, draw as big a circle as I can. So challenge that end range, how big of a circle, and I'll do one the other direction. Again, how big of a circle can I make? And it just makes all the difference as far as what I'm feeling in here. If I just go through, like I said, just kind of draw those quick circles and smaller circles, it might feel okay as far as kind of a warm-up, getting the joint a little bit warmer, but I'm not really challenging the end ranges when I do those much more slower controlled circles. So we're trying to, it's a mobility drill, but more importantly, an active drill. So I'm trying to stay active the entire time and get as big circle as you can. So if we were doing this as part of the warm-up, 1 minute per foot with the lacrosse ball, and then 5 or 6 circles on each foot. All right, so that's the second one. We call those CARS, and I'll write those up in the description, controlled rotations. Okay. Third drill is wall drill here, ankle mobility drill, pretty common drill. So this is going to be my wall. Again, you could do this standing against the wall, but just for video purposes, I'm going to use my box here. And I'm just going to talk about a couple little nuances to focus on. So this is common drill, again, standing or here, where we're just driving my knee towards the wall, trying to keep that back heel down. So if I'm too far away and I can't get there, I have to lift it off. So I want to be just far enough away where if I work real hard and really drive that knee down, I can just barely get there. Can even provide a little support here, so I'm here and I'm actively driving that knee towards the wall and then coming back away. Actively driving towards the wall and then coming away. If you want to, you could, so there's a couple of variations here. I was just driving straight in. You could have a PVC pipe, you don't have to have one, where you can work on angle. So I do a couple reps to the inside of the pipe, okay? A couple reps to the outside of the pipe. But the whole time I'm keeping that foot flat, keeping this ankle, the heel down on the floor as I drive to the outside. So just going to target those tissues a little bit differently, okay? One thing I like to do on these as well is when I'm here, when I'm at that end range, I'm not just leaning in and using my body weight. I'm active, okay? Active is key on these, driving my toes into the floor. So as I drive my knee forward, I'm pressing my feet into the floor, okay? So on these, for a rep scheme, drive that knee to the floor, hold for about a 10-second count, okay? And then pull away. And by pull away, I don't just mean pull back, but I mean pull the toes up too. So I'm going to do a 10-second drive, toes down, and then a 10-second pull. Trying to pull those toes, lift those toes up, up, up. So I'm activating all the tissue here now, okay? And then I go back again. Drive those feet down hard, hard, hard. Then pull the tissue back up. Pull the toes, pull the toes, pull the toes. And then for kind of a more of a passive, then after I do 2 or 3 rounds of that, then I'm going to sit into that hopefully new range of motion. Maybe apply a little pressure here, but be pretty passive here. Just kind of relax into it and hold that. If you've got the time, for a good 2 minutes. So just in chatting, I wasn't getting to the wall or to the box with my knee, and now I am. So you can see that I've increased my range of motion. My range of motion on this ankle is horrible, but I'm barely to my toes. But I increased it just in those 2 reps. Okay, so you can see how quickly we can see some change in tissue quality there. So that's the third one. And then the last one is just a little more proprioception, a little more balance work, get us up on our feet. If the AirX pad or any sort of balance pad is a little too aggressive, you can definitely do these on the floor. This is common, like ankle rehab, more of a stability coordination drill. So it's a 3-point touch, so I'm going to be on one foot, okay? Slight bend in the hip and in the knee. And all I'm going to do with this guy is I'm going to reach it out as far as I can and just tap the floor. Reach out as far as I can, quick tap to the floor, and then reach it back as far as I can and then tap to the floor. That's 1. And go through 5 rounds of that on each side. Whoa. So I'm reaching out, reaching back. I'll do 1 more. That's 2. Forward, to the side, and then back. And you can see the whole time, I'll show you on this one, that one got tired. I'll show you on this one, just standing on here, just trying to balance. You can see all those smaller intrinsic muscles of my feet working, moving all over the place. So that foot's grabbing into the ground. In this case, the pad active, trying to get strengthening those muscles. So if you look at it from top to bottom, we kind of warmed up the tissue with that self-massage work, then worked on increasing range of motion with the second 2, the circles, and then these wall drills here, trying to drive that knee into the wall, trying to actively pull it up, 2, 3 rounds of that, and then just kind of passively sitting into the stretch, and then really activating and stabilizing those smaller muscles of the foot and up into the ankle, even up into the shins and calves. So if you've got any sort of lower limb problems, like I said before, fasciitis, getting over any sort of sprains, things like that, once you're cleared, these are great kind of prehab movements to keep those joints happy and healthy. So give those a try, and feel free to let us know what you think. Thanks.
Yeah.